I look sunburnt as fuck. Okay.
You have the outline, so.
Brandon's on it. He's not even got it opened.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to an episode of Benchwarmers Basement Banter. I've got two guests today. Well, one's Alex is always here. He's our tech guy. He's usually in the back doing our TriCaster videos, camera angles, stuff like that, yelling at Woody for getting too far away from us.
Yes, all the time.
Yep. Then we've got Brandon Elliott over here. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Brandon.
I'm Brandon Elliott.
Well,
Good talk. Good talk.
revolutionary.
Good talk.
All right, so we're going to be talking a little bit about baseball. We're going to be doing some prospects, mostly Cardinals stuff, but we're going to touch up on a couple other things, and as far as the MLB draft, we're going to hit on some key picks on that as well. So, what do you guys think? I mean, what do we want to start with?
Start with the current team.
The current team?
Yeah.
Current team. Which team? Cardinals team?
The Cardinals team.
Well, I mean, we got that J.J. Weatherholt guy in the first round, number 7 overall.
We did. He ended up falling to us. He was projected to go number 1 overall coming into this season. Had a hamstring injury and kind of fell along with some other things that our co-host who's not here, shout out Woody, he had some other things to say as well.
Yeah, he said something about like he was going to take a lower slot value to be drafted up higher, and he was projected to go up to as high as number 1 because of that reason, which I don't really understand that was a thing because we actually signed him above the average.
Yeah, they ended
slot
up getting
for the
him
set.
signed today, and he got signed above slot, so
Yeah, just a little bit. I think he signed for 5.9 or 6.9.
6.9, I believe,
and
yeah.
slot was like 6.8.
So none of us really understand the draft slotting, is what I understand.
Yeah.
But I was very excited to see us get him. Got a great hitting tool, great contact. Before his injury last year, he hit .449, I believe.
Yeah, he won the batting title for D1.
Yes.
And then I think he hit .330, but he played most of the season, his sophomore season, with kind of the nagging hamstring injury.
Yes, he did. He's been the shortstop, thinking most likely he's going to switch to second base. Already seen that Peoria said they're not moving their shortstop there, which makes me think he's probably going to get assigned to Peoria first.
Who's our shortstop in Peoria, Brandon?
Not off the top of my head. I'm not that quick. But yeah, I think second base is going to be a good spot for him, and even potentially third base, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got necessarily the arm for third base because he's a pretty small guy. But, I mean, yeah, he moved the transition to shortstop, and he did just fine there. So, really, it's not much of a difference between third and short. So, he's not as small as David Eckstein. He made it work at shortstop forever. So.
Yep.
That is true. Woody will be real upset we mentioned David Eckstein without him being here.
Yeah.
That's his dude.
I mean, Eckstein was, 5'7"? This guy, I think, is 5'9" or 5'10", and
He's about my and Woody size.
Yeah.
If we were, in shape.
yeah, well, there's that. There is that. So, I mean, he's going to probably start out in Peoria, you said? Or
That's
do you
what
think he'll
it's
go to-
looking like.
Yeah, it's possibly Palm Beach, but
Yeah.
Peoria is definitely a doable thing.
That was just a tweet that I seen in the Cardinals prospect. I guess it's a page that I follow that had that the Peoria Chiefs were not moving the shortstop there. So that was the only thing that I seen on that.
Yeah, and I think he instantly became our number 1 prospect, which we didn't have a huge prospect pool to be pulling from. And
Yes.
Jordan Walker can't be considered a prospect anymore, if I remember right.
Right.
Yes.
He's not on the top 30 prospect.
Okay.
I believe JJ went to number 34 immediately
Yeah.
in all Major League Baseball.
He's drafted number 7, but I think he's the 4th out of the draft as far as MLB's top 100 prospects. So that's a pretty good sign that we got a little bit of a steal in the draft. I think it was a good idea that we went just the best talent instead of like a need, like grabbing a pitcher because all these guys are 2-3 years out.
Yes. There was talk until JJ fell. A lot of people had Hagen Smith going to the Cardinals.
I think he ended up going number 4?
He went 4 or 5.
Okay.
I don't remember which. But
Then there's Jack blah 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 from Florida.
Caglianone.
I can't pronounce it. Yeah, Jack Caglianone. The guy that he's a two-way player.
He's the NCAA
Oh, yeah.
Otani who hits bombs.
Yeah.
Mainly. I
Nukes.
think he's a reliever. I doubt he plays that way in the major leagues, but he hits nukes.
Yeah, I would say he won't be a starting pitcher in the majors, but he might not pitch at all, honestly. But his bat plays.
He'll probably be a Mason Wynn type where Wynn's not pitching at all. I think he pitched a little bit in Peoria at first.
Yeah, Palm Beach and
or
Peoria.
Palm Beach
Yep.
and Peoria, and then
I
they,
wasn't aware of that.
oh yeah, I've hoped for the scenario of the Cardinals being up big and getting to bring in a position player and just letting Mason Wynn go out there and throw
Yeah,
100 the whole
right.
time, because that would be sweet.
Yeah, I think he quit pitching once they got to Springfield.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he kept hitting 300. He kept stealing 30 bags. So I just said, forget it, get him off the mound. So,
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
that's
and he
fair.
was a very highly ranked pitcher,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Like, very
Yeah.
much could have done the two-way thing, but also I'd say shortstop's not the best position to be doing that with.
I mean, he's just over there throwing missiles from short anyway.
That is true. He does do that.
He's got some of the highest not exit velocities, throws from shortstop as far as speedway.
I think he has.
Like,
I think he has the highest.
I think O'Neal Cruz might be.
Well,
firing one.
he has
Yeah.
the highest, but he did it in the minor league All-Star game.
Okay.
He threw it 101 in the minor league All-Star game.
Kelly's got to be up there, too.
Yes, it's those three that are all right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he only hit the ball as hard as those two, O'Neal and Ellie.
Hey, he's playing dang good for the
Yeah.
Steve. He's doing what he needs to do. He's been great.
He's following a good guy, too. You know, Ozzy's been talking to him,
Yes.
you know, all through spring training and all throughout the season. So it's one guy you might want to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, he's already probably, well, it's not going to disrespect David Eckstein, but he may be the best shortstop we've had since Ozzy.
Edgar Renteria.
Yeah, Edgar
we had him
Winter,
for
yeah.
a short bit.
Yeah.
Would we have him 3 or 4 years? He was on that 04 team that drastically lost in the World Series.
Yep.
Yeah, what is it? Edgar Renteria has this weird stat of being the last out in like 2 or 3 World
He
Series.
was, he was the last out in back-to-back World
Yeah,
Series.
back to
04,
back, and I
05.
think another one he was too.
Yeah. He may have been in the last out in a early season World Series with the Marlins as well, because I think he played at the
I think he
Marlins.
was. Yes, he was.
In 97. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
97, he was the last out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the second round pick the Cardinals had was, I almost said Ethan Holiday, but that is not the correct. It is a Holiday, and he is from Oklahoma State, but it's not spelled the same way. What is
Oh,
his?
I'm sorry, but 97, he had the game-winning hit.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
That's
what it
Where he
was.
had the
Yes.
game-winning hit in
Got spent a lot
97.
of time in the World Series.
Yep. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me look that up.
What was the
The
question?
second round pick is
Holiday.
Holiday, not
Yeah, no relation.
No relation. Oklahoma State though. Same.
Brian.
Brian
Yep,
Holiday. Yes.
Brian Holiday.
Almost said Ethan, but that's not right.
I
That's-
found that interesting, you know, coming from Oklahoma State,
Mm-hmm.
last name Holiday, no relation.
Yes.
Well, you know. You had to look, though, didn't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Because he's got another son that's...
That's Ethan.
That's Ethan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's next year supposed to be a top
Yep.
10 pick. Correct. Yeah. Yes.
Probably so. I mean, hopefully Jackson actually turns... Has he gotten back into the bigs yet, or is
No,
he
No,
still...
he's
And-
still in AAA. I actually saw him last weekend in Memphis, and yeah, he looked good. He was batting. I think they said his average was like 270, 267,
Okay.
something like that. But he looked solid in person for me. You know, the first time seeing him in person,
Yeah.
3-4 at bats, and dude's legit
Yeah, I mean, he's the number 1 prospect in
Yeah.
baseball, and
for a reason.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
His stuff plays. I mean, he's still a kid. He's 19 years old.
Yeah.
He may have just turned 20.
I think he just turned 20 because
Yeah.
I was looking it up because I was seeing people on Twitter, the Orioles, saying, "Oh, we're playing good. We're in this. We should trade him." And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that one's the right
No.
call yet.
Way too early.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Mike Trout's first time up in the bigs, I think he came up and hit like 117 or something like that.
Sent
and
him
then
down.
Sent
Yeah.
right back down. Almost
Exactly.
identical to what Holiday's done this time. And I know everyone tells that story, and not every prospect's going to bounce back and come back. But he's got the type of bat that will eventually play. He's not going to be a guy like Kilroff that
Right.
fizzled out, or Torkelson that's never really lived up to it. He may not live up to that number 1 overall pick and be an all-star every season, but right now it's too early to give up on that, and he's gonna be an all-star one of these years. So
You know, and maybe maybe they rushed him a little bit. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, he didn't spend very much time in the minors.
About a
period,
season and a half,
let alone AAA. So I mean, he just jumped up there,
Yeah.
and then completely.
And some people don't handle that as well as others do.
Yep,
Some
absolutely.
people do that and they're fine, and then others they need that development at all levels to kind of ramp up.
Yep.
And it just kind of varies with that sort of thing. Like I think that when we called up Jordan
Well-
Hicks, I think he came straight from AA.
Well, just speaking of Jordan, I didn't mean to segue into
Yes,
this, but it's
I was
just
thinking
like
that,
Jordan
yes.
Walker. I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
we rushed that kid, and look what happened. And he was actually doing fine, batting 270, and
I've never understood that. I don't
270,
think-
280, and then you want to send him down,
Yeah.
and his confidence level just goes in the basement, and then hasn't been right since.
Well, and also maybe don't teach him to play a new position 3 weeks before you bring him up to the majors. Left field may have been the moon for him, or right field, or wherever
Right.
we were sticking him.
I don't understand the reasoning for putting him in right field versus left field either.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys could explain that one. But, I mean, we had Matt Holliday in left field for so many years. Jordan's way more athletic than he is.
right.
Yeah.
Why do we,
I
think we
believe-
have to stick him there when we could stick him in left field and have someone else play right field?
But you had a Gold Glove winner in Tyler O'Neill in left field.
That's
currently.
true. That is true. I
He's won
forgot
2
we had
Gold Gloves.
Tyler O'Neill over
He
there.
sure has. So I mean I'm sure that's the excuse.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to say. You had O'Neill in left, and then you've also got Newbar to throw around there too. So
Yeah.
where's he going to get the most playing time?
Yeah,
Probably
it was going to be
field.
right. Yeah.
Because the Cardinals are never short on mediocre outfielders.
Ever.
Never.
Ever.
Guys that should be good and they just never materialize. It's kind of our thing.
So what else did you see down in Memphis?
It was good ball club. I like watching all the minor league games. I try to travel to Peoria, Springfield, Memphis, once or twice a year and catch all the kids. And it's exciting baseball, and especially the last few years, it's way more exciting than being in St. Louis. But I saw a lot of good things. They had Victor Santos starting the game from Memphis. Don't know a lot about him. Got rocked, like nine runs, 2 innings. That's solid. Ready to call him up, but batting wise, I mean, we look solid. Nick Raposo, started behind the plate because Herrera hadn't been activated quite yet. But I really like Nick Raposo. He just got a cup of coffee about a month ago, 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
I don't think he made his debut, but
Yeah, I
he
don't
was
think he
on the
did.
club for a few days.
Okay.
And Cesar Prieto, I really love that guy. Like, I can't wait to see him in a uniform. We got him from the Orioles in the Flaherty trade at the deadline last year. Yeah, Prieto, you need to pay attention to that name. Like, I really like that kid. He's batting, I mean, he's no bigger than me, and he's batting 3rd or 4th in the lineup, but he's batting like 325.
Okay.
Wow.
You got
No.
some pop or?
Little bit of pop. I mean, not a 3-4 hitter pop,
Right.
but he's got a little pop. He's a solid over 300 hitter, 30 stolen bags, solid glove.
That'll play.
Yeah, and he's a middle infielder,
Okay.
but
Yep.
don't have room right now.
We're gonna get
but-
a log jam in the
Yeah,
infield
yes,
here
we
pretty soon.
are.
Right,
yes,
right.
we are. Have to
You know,
figure out
and-
what to do there.
And Thomas Sagasi, his
Another
name was
one.
thrown out there,
Yeah.
when they were in Jupiter in spring training. But Sagasi's doing solid. He was the starting third baseman last weekend. I'd imagine he's playing all over the infield this season. But Sagasi's another.
Trying to find a spot somewhere.
Yeah. He's a John Mabry, no batting gloves, and just puts the ball in play. So hopefully, he
Matt
pans it.
Carpenter.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
both.
Oh, yeah.
Both.
Yeah, Carpenter.
Hey, he gave us 2 good years before he went to
Yes, he did. 22 years ago.
Mabry was a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mabry was the backup for Pujols in like 04.
Right.
Carpenter was on that team too.
No, not quite.
And he was the starter in the late 90s.
Yes.
John Mabry hit for the cycle in 1996. Anybody know that? Raise your hand.
I didn't
Nope.
know he hit for the cycle. I did not know when it was.
Well, I mean, I was an infant, so
Yeah.
there's that.
I'm just old.
I mean, you were in high school probably.
Yeah. I remember it. In Colorado, 1996.
All right. No, I mean, kudos to
Sure.
him for being able to get a triple. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd never had the.
I think I can run faster than him backwards, but, that's beside the
Well,
point.
All right, so
What are we getting to now?
Well, I mean, a couple of times since we've done this on our other episodes, the trade deadline's coming up. We're doing this in like about a week or so. Me and Woody have both cooked up trades that we think we're gonna make with other ball clubs. I made one with the White Sox. He made one with the Tigers.
Well, these are more fantasy trades. The actual
Yes.
Mo trades are going to come
I
later.
wanna
But
hear
let's
Brandon's.
see what Brandon thinks about these
I want
trades.
to hear your proproposal,
Okay. Well, my proposal.
and I'll tell you if you're smart or dumb.
I was gonna have us trade at the White Sox. I know this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt because I was giving up Jordan Walker.
I doubt it's going to hurt, but go ahead.
Okay. I was giving up Jordan Walker, and we're gonna get Luis Robert. Okay, then next after that, we're gonna give up McGreevy, and Newt Bar, and Joshua Baez. But we're also gonna get Garrett Crochet
This is a hell of a deal here.
Yes.
You're giving up a lot.
for 2 All-Stars.
You believe in Crochet that much?
No, but we do need an arm.
Good talk. Good talk. Good talk.
I believe him this year.
That's the problem I have with your proposal is I don't trust him.
He's been pretty
this year this moment, but how many times have we done, the organization actually done that and, pissed away a lot of prospects?
Well, we only piss away the good ones though.
Yeah, that's true. True. McGreevy is going to be the next Nolan Ryan if you include him in that trade.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
probably.
is,
Jordan Walker is the next Albert Pujols.
well, some people think that anyhow. But if we hang on to him, like Dylan Carlson was supposedly the hold up in the Soto trade.
Yeah,
the only reason we didn't get him.
Right. Yeah, there's no need to have Juan Soto on your team right now when you have Dylan Carlson.
Yeah.
They overvalued Carlson. I thought he was overvalued back then. Anyways,
yeah,
I thought he was
yep.
overvalued and overhyped as a prospect. Personally, from
Yep.
what I've seen,
He got a huge benefit from COVID ball.
Yes.
They changed a lot of rules in the minor leagues right around the time that he was going through the ranks. Stolen bags during that time were at an all-time high. I think he he had a stolen base season in AAA one year, and we've not seen any. I don't think he's ever stole 10 with us.
no,
Right.
no, he was ranked. He got up there around 20, which I believe Gorman got up there too. But at least I could see the potential more with Gorman, with the bombs. I couldn't quite see it with Carlson.
I mean, he's a switch hitter, guys.
Yeah, Carlson was just supposed to be that good all-around guy.
Yes.
Great glove, great arm, had some speed, had some contact, had some power.
Yep.
And
He's still well-rounded. It's just he's not very good at anything.
below below average at all the above.
Yes.
But unfortunately, batting 190 or whatever he's batting right now is just not going to cut it. And I've had conversations with plenty of people about the overabundance of outfielders that we have and the potential of when Newt Bar was coming back, and then you have Edmund coming back.
He had a setback yesterday.
Who's coming and who's going at that point. And then when we broke it down, Carlson's like the 6th outfielder and he has no options.
Yeah.
Do what? We're just gonna carry him just because.
I thought that's what Matt Carpenter and Crawford were for.
Yeah, well, and then that
At least
actually
they
got,
are veterans.
yeah, and
the
that
veteran
actually
leadership.
got mentioned as I guess we have to axe Brandon Crawford at that point just to make room.
Yeah, we got too many guys that can't get sent down.
Yep. Yeah. With Carlson not having any options and bringing Newt Bar and and then even Walker. Like, what happens if you decide to bring him up in September as a September call up? Victor Scott's still down there too. If you want to,
We're just gonna get Edmund back from the IL, and then we're gonna say, well, that's like winning a trade, and we're not gonna do anything.
Always
Yep.
with those.
Yep. And I'm scared to death that that's actually going to happen. That we're going to get all these guys back in the next couple of weeks, and they're going to say, "Ta-da, we're done."
Or we traded for some scrap heap pitcher, which is what we all kind of expect
I'm really
to happen.
expecting a 39-year-old middle reliever come July 31st. I mean, that seems
We're gonna
pretty.
sign Zach Greinke.
Trevor Bauer.
I've been telling this.
He's too young. He's too young, though. Way
Too
too
talented.
Young. Way
Too
too young. Way too young.
Too talented, too good. We can't do that.
too
We,
young.
we might actually improve the team.
You know, I actually no diss on Trevor Bauer because he's been fantastic, but I was looking at his Mexican League stats, which are ridiculous, by the way. But then I was looking through the Mexican League rosters, and Robinson Cano's hitting like 400. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe it's not quite that impressive.
That's the roids talking, though.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
And before the roids, honestly, he was on pace to be a Hall of Fame second baseman.
That's what Barry Bonds said.
Yeah, well, that's fair. He was a Hall of Fame outfielder before the roids. Or
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Cano
Yes.
was on his
Yes.
way to being a Hall of Famer
Yeah.
before the roids.
But I think with his last season with was it Mariners?
I think so.
Or no, Mets. Mets or Mariners, one of the two. He was only hitting like 180, and then he got DFA'd. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been the Mets. That's a good call.
And he went from who got signed to the Mariners after the Yankees, and I think he went to the Mets after that.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's where he had, it was just there like a half a season, complete dog crap and DFA'd. And then he got busted.
Let's circle
Again.
back to this Crochet trade and
Yeah.
let's get. We got
Oh,
a little,
yeah,
little
we
off
did-
topic
we did-
of
we did
talking
get off
about the
topic.
prospects.
I
which,
think they were asking me about
yes.
We did.
about my trade.
Yeah, we gotta get, what do you think? We're
Well,
gonna do?
we have another one too. If we
yeah,
have
no, no, go ahead. Go
the
ahead.
the
I don't. You'll have to look up.
Okay,
what
let me
his
see
Tariq
what
Skubal trade.
he was trading for Tariq Skubal. Let's see if I can see if he's got it down here.
Did you say the Tigers?
Yes.
Yes.
Trading with
We're
the
not getting
Tigers.
Jack Flaherty back, are we?
No.
No.
Thank God.
No, he
Attaboy,
says we were
Woody.
going to get Tariq Skubal and Michael Canna for a bench bat.
Yes.
I think that he had us giving up McGreevy. He had us giving up Tink Hintz. And I don't remember what else. I think maybe Newt Bar was in the trade. too.
Newt was in the trade, and then I think Baez may have been in the trade as well.
You know,
and Jerpe.
And
mentioned Jerpe.
yes, he did mention her.
you know,
Jerpe.
it's I don't know. I don't like giving away young pitchers like that. Giving
See,
up on
that's
them.
where if Alan was here, he is kind of complete opposite. I feel like on that. He likes
young,
to- he
likes
does-
young bats.
Yes, he does.
Yep.
He does not like the pitching.
Yep, Carlson's worked out great for us. Anyways,
So is Libertor.
yeah. okay. But
This
you know,
is just a damning of the Cardinals' player development system. We could have the whole talk about that.
Exactly. You know, with Tink Hintz and Michael McGreevy, you know, this is McGreevy's first year in Memphis, and he's really not doing so hot. You know, he did pretty well in Springfield last year, but Memphis so far this year hasn't done too well, but he's not terrible. But that's somebody I really like personally, and I would like to hold on to McGreevy. He's got, you know, a hell of a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then you mentioned Cooper Jerpe, and then losing, you know, Gordon Graceffo is
Yeah.
another one.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
going to ask you which.
I've actually thought that we've been showcasing him the
what-
last couple of weeks.
who
but
do you
apparently-
prefer
Kind of,
between McGreevy or Graceffo?
On the field?
Yes,
On the field, maybe I'm leaning towards Graceffo.
that's kind of how I feel too.
Personally, McGreevy, but it's for personal reasons.
Well,
But-
that's different. We won't bring those up. But
I think both are solid. And then, you know, you mentioned Libby. You know, it was, you know, I think there's coming a time for Libby. He's been given a lot of opportunity, and that's different. Like, you know, Woody was talking about just, you know, chucking Tink Hintz out there
Yeah.
on a trade when you know he hasn't made it past Double-A.
His thoughts on that are he's had some injury scares. On
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he has, but he's also
He's been pulled from a game 2, 3, 4
Yes.
times already this season.
Yes.
Yep, you're right. You know, but with somebody like Libby, you've already been given opportunity after opportunity. I think we've seen what Libby is all about,
Yeah.
and
And
you
he's,
know.
he's mediocre.
Exactly. So you need to make that call. Is this it? You know, do we give him another year, another 2 years? Is this what we're just going to live with, or it's time to ship him out and try to sell him as a decent / solid middle
This is-
relieving left-hander?
This is probably the last year that he's going to have value because we kind of played this song and dance with Carlos Martinez when he was still a starter. We shopped him around a little bit. I think the Yankees looked into him some, and they were actually very interested and then we decided to hang on to him.
Offered us Derek Jeter, and we said no. We have C-Mart.
Whoa.
You guys hate on Seamart a lot more than I think you should. If you look at his stats from there's about 3 seasons there where he was our best pitcher.
Absolutely. But I'm talking about when they were trying to trade him, or when they shopped him around it. He'd just come off of a pretty mediocre first half. The season before that wasn't that great, and we decided not to trade him. He's been good those last few years, and he was never the same.
True.
He was pretty bad the rest of that season. We moved him to the bullpen. He had about a month where I think he was pretty solid out of the pen, and then after that he kind of blew up there. And it's not that I ever thought that Seamart was bad. It's just I felt like he always had more potential than what his mind would let him do.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
And you hit the
I'll
nail
agree
on the
with
head
that
there.
one.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, he was a total head case, and that's very unfortunate because he had just.
All the arm talent.
His first few years, he was my favorite pitcher we had.
Yeah.
And then honestly, Oscar Taveras had something to do with that. I think.
Yeah,
and I'll
yes,
go to my grave with that one. 'Cause
there's-
that's a big.
There's
I mean,
no
they were
way.
best
well,
friends.
that and the Royals pitcher, he was pretty good friends with.
Erwin Santana.
Yeah.
No.
You mean Junior Fernandez? And,
No.
Okay.
The Royals pitcher that passed
Royals.
away.
Oh no, it wasn't Erwin, but Santana
San-
or Ventura.
Vince.
Ventura.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
My bad.
Okay.
Ventura.
Well, I think he was pretty good friends with Fernandez too. 'Cause they were all in that group as well.
He may have been, but I know he was really good friends with the Royals pitcher.
Okay.
Yep. And like I said, yeah, he was a head case. It was 99% mental, his issue. He had all the talent in the
Yeah.
world, and I don't know, just
And actually
a
stayed
lot
pretty healthy.
a
Usually.
lot of stuff going on in between the ears, and he just couldn't figure it out. And
Yeah.
now he's completely out of baseball. I
Yes.
mean, even the Mexican League won't take him. So
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's completely out of shape and not doing anything.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Yep.
So, Brandon, I want to hear what your trade might be.
Oh,
Are we talking a
boy.
realistic trade or a
I don't-
really would hope they'd pull the trigger and do something trade?
Okay, first of
Seriously,
all, what do you think we need?
what do we need? What would be nice is a legit center fielder, a not Dog and Ciani. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
Yes.
A solid middle reliever
Yeah, because ours are all getting a lot of work right
yes,
now.
they.
and a starter that is not a number 5 starter.
yes.
Someone that can be even a co-ace with Sonny Gray. He doesn't have to be better than Sonny Gray.
No.
We can
Nope.
get someone
Nope.
of that caliber, though.
I need somebody between 1 and 5. Like,
Well,
we
you know,
have
if-
a boatload of 3, 4s, and 5s.
Yeah.
And we have 1
It's
and
like-
0 2s.
We have Sonny Gray.
Everybody
and
else.
And then, the
Well-
other 4 are all fairly interchangeable.
Right.
Palante has been very good
He,
here lately.
he has been very, very good, honestly. Way better than I expected him to be.
Yep.
I feel like he'd probably be, if playoffs started, he might be our number 2.
He's really only had 1 bad start, and I think that was his second start.
Yeah.
But yeah, since then he's been pretty solid.
Yeah.
Lance Lane's either great or he's miserable.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's really not.
There is no in between with him.
Kyle Gibson's been solid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Kyle Gibson's been solid. He's a ground ball pitcher, and usually it's the bullpen that hurts him at the end.
Yeah.
But he keeps us in. He keeps us in the game 95% of the time.
He doesn't really have a whole lot of blow up games. I mean, in spring training, I was really worried about him because I think he got rocked in spring training
Right.
Yes,
over
he
and
did.
over.
He did.
Yep.
I think we're all on the same boat of if we make it to the playoffs, if we're playing the Phillies or the Dodgers, we have a 1 that can go against anybody. That 2, we feel like we're just giving up games.
Yeah.
We don't
Right.
have anybody that's going to
You
compete.
don't. Yeah, you can't. All 3 of us can't give a straight answer on who that game 2
No.
starter is right now.
No.
We would all 3 probably have different
You'd
answers.
have to take the hot
and
hand.
nobody's right and nobody's wrong.
No.
It's just
You'd have to take the hot hand if there is one at
Yep,
that time.
absolutely.
And
Try to take the TLR approach and ain't nobody TLR.
we don't have a 1A, 1B like you would say.
Yes.
We've got Sonny Gray and then a island of misfit toys.
Yes.
Segue in back to the outfield, I guess, with no disrespect to Ciani, I'm really impressed with how he's been playing this year, given a lot more opportunity than I expected, and he's exceeded those expectations in my eyes. But Alec Burleson, that's my boy.
Hey,
Let's
He's-
talk about
he's
Alec
been a
Burleson.
season saver for this team.
And and I said back in February, like, please God, don't put him on the bench. Don't send him down. Don't be the odd man out. He doesn't deserve it. That's not right. And
right now, I think he's our first half MVP.
Well,
yeah.
for sure. But back in February, when not everybody knew about Burleson and what he could potentially do, and that's just what I kept thinking. Like, please don't be the odd man out. They're going to keep Carlson and not Burley, or they're going to keep this guy and not Burley.
Mm-hmm.
They gave
And
him
then
every
now,
opportunity.
today, that's not even an option. Like,
No.
okay, we got to send
Burley's
somebody
going out
down.
there.
Yeah, we got to send somebody down. He's not
He's
somebody
not there.
you mentioned.
He's our
So that's awesome.
2 or 3 hitter at the moment.
Yeah, and that's.
Hitting like 270, I think.
I think he's 2 because I think Mason Wynn got a triple tonight in the game, and then Burleson hit
Yeah,
again.
I
Which
think
is
he's
an
batting over
awesome
280.
1-2.
Oh,
Is he
280?
leading? Is he leading the team in home runs?
Yeah,
as
he's
well?
at 17.
Gorman just hit another one.
Okay.
So-
they both at 17 now?
No, Gorman was at 17. He's
gotcha.
at 18.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
Yeah, Burley's batting 289.
yes.
Wow, I didn't realize his average was that high.
Yeah. He's just
Yeah,
been
I mean,
steady climbing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just been steady. I mean, he just climbs a couple of points every 3-4 games, and it's
Okay.
it's crazy. And everybody dogs his defense. Yeah, he's not a Gold Glover. He's never going to be a Gold Glover, in my opinion.
Once again, we had Matt Halliday in left field for a long
We
time.
have Marcell Ozuna in left field.
Also that. He also has a gold glove somehow.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you want to throw crazy trades out there. Paul Goldschmidt. Now, listen before you elaborate. If that were to happen, who's your first baseman? Alec Burleson.
Yeah.
Now you permanently
Open up a spot for Jordan Walker.
now you permanently have a spot for
Yes.
Burleson, and that opens a spot in the outfield. Maybe a Walker, maybe whoever.
Whoever can
I'm
hit.
just throwing
I'd
that out
like
there.
it
So
to be Walker if he's ready.
Yes.
so what if Goldie's up at the end of the year?
Better get a hell of a pitcher. Or get someone like your Luis Robert. Maybe get you a big right-handed bat.
You know what Goldie is going to have to do at the rest of the season to make it a Goldie season. Like, he's going to have to be
go off.
literally on fire
He's gonna have to
damn
do,
near the rest of the season starting today in order to just be average Goldie at the end of the season.
He's going to have to be Albert in his last half a season. Is what he's going to have to be.
So therefore, do you shop him? There's no guarantee that that he comes back next year. You got to sign him. What kind of deal is it? Blah blah blah.
He's not playing well enough to go shopping, though.
He's my
That's-
age. He's getting up there. Is it even worth talking to him, or do you shop him? Get somebody, a 2 or a 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
you can get a 2 or a 3?
This is a guy that won an MVP 2 years ago.
True. True.
He's going to have some value.
Yeah, I don't know what the value is for sure, but he still
Good-
has some good value, I think.
Good clubhouse guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can
Great
talk
guy
it.
there.
It's easy to talk him up.
Yes.
Unfortunately, not a lot of playoff experience, and which is kind of something that's going to be important while you're trying to buy it this time.
maybe.
I didn't really ever think about that. We talked about trading Arenado and Goldschmidt early in the season when we were terrible. But now that they're, in my opinion, going to be buyers at this deadline, I hadn't really thought about it, but it makes sense. He's not helping the team a ton right now, and we're still winning a lot of games. Do I think that he can have that month? He can absolutely go insane and help the team a ton? Absolutely. Do I think that maybe I'd rather have a solid number 2 starter instead of him right now? I'd highly consider it. Yeah. I'm not saying
It's a thought.
I'd have to know the name.
Yeah.
Like, what number 2 you talking here?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then, staying with first base, Baker, that may open a spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
Although, he got a decent amount of playing time last year and, didn't
do a whole lot with
didn't
it.
do squat, but, he's just Crash Davis in the minors.
He hits bombs.
He
hits bombs.
broke the Memphis Redbird record a few weeks ago. And,
Who held that beforehand?
Nick Stavanoa.
Okay,
there you go.
Okay, Nick Stavanoa.
Hey,
But-
Burley just got another RBI
Yep,
just
right.
now. So
Yep,
I
right
mean,
on
he's
cue.
just
But I looked up at the scoreboard when Lucan made his at bat last weekend when I was there, and I said, damn, 25 home runs already.
Yes.
Like nobody on our team has 25 home runs. No. Like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, and
Tyler
but,
O'Neill was good about doing that too, though.
but it's just a shame that he didn't do a whole lot for us last year, and I don't know if he is going to be like a Crash Davis guy and just be one
He's a 4A player.
bad mofo in AAA and just can't get past that.
I wonder if he might end up being traded and might be the Luke Voigt type.
Yeah.
Which if we get the
Boy,
same
had
same
solid
return
seasons.
that we got, someone like Gallegos who was great,
Still
Yep.
is.
it still is.
Yep.
Be great. That's what I always have to remind you, that we traded Voigt for Gallegos.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Voigt, I think he had a excellent. He's an all-star for the Yankees at one point in time, I think.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything after the
No.
Yankees.
No, he
No.
had a cup of
Mets.
coffee with the Padres and the Mets.
Mets, Brewers, yeah,
But
He was
I,
with Padres,
Padres.
yep.
I think Baker really reminds me of him for some reason.
Yeah.
I would like to
That's
see
actually-
him
yeah.
on the major league team, but he might end up being traded. I think.
That's a great comparison, actually. I've never thought of it that way with Luke Voigt. Although Lucan's probably like 14 inches taller and
Yeah,
100
he's
pounds
big.
heavier,
I
but
couldn't-
That is one
More
big
like
dude.
Matt Adams.
I'm telling you, he's
when I was in Memphis a couple of years ago and watched them, I couldn't believe how big he was,
Yeah.
and I think he hit a home run that night too.
Of course he did.
Yeah, and I think Gorman hit one too. That was right before Gorman got called up.
Yep.
Give you a time frame.
Okay.
Like it was like a week before he got called
Right.
up, because that's
Yep.
why I wanted to make it there.
Yep. So I mean, you always have that option at first base too if you want to shop Goldie.
I don't hate it.
I don't
I've
either.
Not, I've
I
not
don't
put
either.
any thought into it until just now.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. To make you think.
I don't know who do we target though? Like, what are some pitchers that are available?
Who's your idea for trade? You thought that far ahead?
I'm asking the questions.
Okay.
Well, he's not good enough to get us a Tariq Skubal, obviously.
You don't want to trade within the division, so wipe those 4 teams out.
Yes.
Do you send him to the American League for DH options to maybe expand his career a year or two?
It's not a bad plan for him.
Does he
doing
have a
him
no
a solid.
trade? I don't have a clue about that, actually. Does he have a no
I
trade?
don't know.
I'm gonna guess he probably does. It seems like that's in a lot of contracts that we do. I don't necessarily think that he would veto a trade. I think he likes
Also,
St. Louis.
also, you got to think about this. Who needs a first baseman?
Yeah, he has a full no trade clause.
Yeah. Who needs a first baseman?
Yeah.
a lot of teams. The White Sox technically don't because they do have Andrew Vaughn over there, but Andrew Vaughn can play.
Go ahead.
He can play second base and he can play some outfield too. So
Houston?
they got Yordan Alvarez playing first base some, but he's DHs most of the time. I think Chaz McCormick is their first baseman.
I'm not sure on that.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's Chaz McCormick. Along with Yordan, who mostly DHs.
Because I know Jose Abreu didn't work out.
Yeah.
No, which Chaz McCormick's been decent, but I don't think he's not Goldschmidt, and I don't think that the Astros are. Well, I guess that'd be them buying, but they've got so much pitching.
So there you go.
So
there
that
you
could
go.
be a good match.
Give us
Yep.
Ronald Blanco.
There you go. Yeah. Let's go.
He's like their number 4.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine.
That'd be great.
He'd be our number 2.
Yeah, he could
Yeah.
be our 1.5. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
1A, 1B with
Yep,
Gray. That'd
exactly.
be great.
Because they also have Framer Valdez.
And he's a lefty,
yes.
so that's cool.
Use that.
We don't do that.
Yeah, Libby.
We sure do. We don't have Randy Arozarena, but we have Matthew Libator.
Yeah, that stings.
Randy's on the trade block, I heard.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually read something yesterday that we were actually looking into getting him back.
Yeah, we had a
The
nice.
year he bats below the Mendoza line. You know what? I want Randy back.
You know, and
Come on, man.
Rogers and I had a real nice conversation about
My
how this
thing
might
was,
put us over the edge.
If we trade back for Randy A and they screw us twice on the same player, I'm done.
It might put us over the edge.
Like, of course we're interested. The 1 year that he's batting below 200.
We're gonna fix him.
Yeah, we sure are.
Because we sure did the first time.
and he's
To
going to be
fair,
hand in
he did
hand.
not really get a chance in the whole deal with
I think the night that he
Recorded.
videotaped Schilt,
Yeah.
he had a home run that night, if I remember right.
I'm pretty sure he did.
And then it's like a week later, he just
I,
it's like,
I think that's probably lost in translation in that trade. Is that's damn sure the reason he got traded.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even though it was awesome, and we won't get into that, but why
Right.
did they let
Fired
Mike
me up.
Mike
Yep.
Schilt go? But
Absolutely. And then we let Schilt go, shortly thereafter too.
Yes, so he got-
So what does it matter?
We
If
lost
that,
all
that
of
we
it
upset.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares if we upset
because Schilt
Schilt?
wouldn't do this. No, I said yes.
yeah. He's,
But I don't know. I mean, it's just that seems to. Unfortunately, that seems to be the cardinal way too. Is we're going to start talking about guys after they're good. We pick up guys that are 35 plus, and then Randy A. We've been talking about that for a handful of years, and
Zach Gallen.
and then
Sandy
the one
Alcantara.
the 1 year he's bad. We're thinking about bringing him back. Wait till Adolis Garcia's 35, and we'll
Bring
want
him
him
back.
back. And
Yeah.
Zach Gallen,
Yeah.
Sandy, those guys could have been a 1-2 punch for the next
We probably
20
called
years.
Miami like right after he tore up his arm, Sandy. Like,
Yeah.
hey, so
Yeah, so
thinking about trading him back.
it's Mo again.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know.
so we got Woody had some other trades that he kind of actual trade realistic that he thinks the Cardinals could trade
I think we're gonna
for.
trade for Joe Adele.
That's not one of those that Woody has. He does have Tyler Anderson and Kevin Pillar as a.
Do we need another outfielder? I mean, I love Kevin Pillar, but do we
Said
need
we needed a
another?
center fielder.
Okay, my bad.
That was
My bad.
literally the
Yeah.
first thing you
Yes,
Yeah,
that was
said.
the first thing I said. Damn it. Okay.
So he's got that. He's got trading for Eric Fetty. I've seen that one a lot as well. Not sure how I feel about that one. I believe you said no, if I remember correctly.
I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on that. I think if we're gonna pitch or trade for a White Sox pitcher, it's not gonna be Fetty. I think we should go for Crochet. But I mean,
I put them both in the same boat. Honestly, I don't trust either one of them.
I don't trust Fetty or Crochet, but I think Crochet's got way better stuff. It's just he's got to stay healthy. Crochet's not like
You want to add another one of those guys to the roster?
Why not?
one of them's gonna be healthy eventually.
But who are you getting rid of? To get one of those guys,
I don't remember.
and then he
what
completely shits the bed in 6 months.
He didn't have. We had that on our trade episode. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't much.
No,
It may have been McGreevy.
I think he had him going. He wanted to trade either McGreevy or Graceffo.
Yeah, he said either one of those two, and that's about it. I think maybe
He wanted to add in a power bat, which is
Baez.
Joshua Baez.
because
He wanted-
we had all trading the same people for some
Right.
reason
Over,
because of how it looks with the
Right.
you want either McGreevy or Graceffo. We're not going to
Well,
give
we don't
up.
have
We're
a
not
ton
giving up Chase Davis.
we don't have a ton of valuable prospects.
Baez
We're
has a
very
bunch
strong.
of power opportunity. He might be the one that people
Yeah.
want. Is our thought.
Baez is built like McGuire.
Yes.
If you've seen him in person. That dude's huge too. It's
Well,
insane.
if he could hit for average,
Well, we have
who
two.
cares if you hit for average if you're hitting 35?
That's Nolan Gorman.
that eventually caught up with Joey Gallo. You can't hit
Yep.
40 every year.
Yeah. Adam Dunn.
Yes.
Adam Dunn.
Well, Adam Doan made a huge long career out of it. I think he was pushing 500 home runs. I think he was just outside of it.
He might have been over 400. Yeah.
I
think he was.
Might have.
He's also got maybe Chris Bassett, Nathan Evaldi, Zach
I
Eflin.
wouldn't be mad at getting EO.
No,
So that's
I
kind
wouldn't either.
of what Woody had on
That's
his
the type
mind
of
as
player
far
we
as
go
trades.
for, too.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what
His
that's
late
what he
30s.
said.
Yep,
Like-
yep. Late 30s. Just a. I believe he's a ground ball pitcher too. He's a sinker pitcher.
He can throw some gas, though. I think that he hits 96, 97.
He's healthy. He should be another Lance Lynn. Give you 200 innings. He's a horse. Yeah, that'd be the guy that we would
floors me
naturally
out.
go for.
How even when Lance Lynn's pitching well, we pull him after 7 when he's like at 70 pitches or something like that. It's like, dude, we got him for this reason.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
Let him eat innings.
Yep.
What's some more realistic trades that you think the Cardinals could make?
More realistic.
Signing Zach Greinke.
Yeah, absolutely. He's in our age range. Man. Pilar, I really like that in the outfield now that you guys mentioned that. I believe that would be a good fit in the clubhouse.
He had Pilar and Tyler Anderson trading for both of them,
And
kind of
then-
fitting two needs there.
Okay, yeah.
We talked about that trade in our trade
Yeah,
episode
right.
quite a bit. And
still-
you mentioned Odell.
Joe Adele.
Adele.
I think that he's a buy low opportunity because he was supposed to be a top prospect in baseball for years. He has crapped the bed every single year that he's had the opportunity to. He started out this season really hot, actually. He's slowed down. He's kind of come back to earth
Right.
and been closer to what we've seen him be. But he can be a great center fielder at times. There's been times that he's looked clueless out there too. So
Right.
it's just a guy that could be a good bench bat for us, and we need a right-handed bat off the bench right now because right now we don't have a whole lot off of right-handed bench players.
Who are you ready to dump? You know, with this
Joe Adele, I don't think it'd take much.
over.
Carlson for Odell. Let's see who
They're
can.
the same guy.
Let's see who could fix
Right.
who.
Right.
They're the same guy.
But then, I mean, just in general too. You know, with the overabundance of outfielders. You know, I mean,
I'm ready
Who's-
to cut ties with Carlson.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Newbar.
In my Luis Robert and Crochet trade, I
He
had
had
Newbar
Newt.
gone. I think that
Allen had
I
Newt
think
going as well.
that the league values his sabermetrics more than what he actually brings to us on the field.
Perfect answer. Seriously, like, yeah, I 1,000,000% agree, and can't get very many people to agree with that, and
Yeah.
it just blows my mind that I don't know.
He's a sabermetric darling, as Woody always says. Just people that are sitting there crunching numbers on a computer absolutely love
him.
Newbar.
Yes.
He's a great player. He's a good player. I think that he can be a serviceable outfielder for us in the future. That being said, I think his value is higher than his worth, and we can get more out of him than what we are
Absolutely.
getting out of him, if that makes sense.
Yep, yep. Tommy Edman.
Right now his value's at an all-time low. He hasn't played in like a
Yeah.
year and a half.
Yep.
He's a Gold Glove All-Star second baseman, or wherever we end up putting him that particular day. Did he win his Gold Glove at second, or did he win it at short?
Good question.
That's a good. Let me look.
Because Donovan was the first utility
Don-
guy.
Yeah,
That wasn't Edman.
Edmund did win a Gold Glove. I know that, but
Yes,
I don't
he
know what
did.
position he won it at. He was all over the place because I remember he split between those two positions that year, and they gave it to him at one of those.
I'm gonna throw short out there.
See, I thought second base.
That is my final answer.
I think that was the year that the Cardinals had
Second base.
Okay. That was
what
the
I
year
said.
that the Cardinals won.
Yeah, it is that year where they had 5 people win a Gold Glove.
Yeah,
Yeah.
O'Neill was
Yeah.
one of them, which was crap.
Yeah.
But we also had Arenado and Goldschmidt and Yachty, I think, that
Yes.
all won one.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And that was the last Gold Glove that Yachty won.
Yes.
You know, Edmund kind of worries me at this point. You know, with a wrist injury, wrist is a very
He had
important.
to sit back yesterday.
Well, okay.
That was
I-
a hamstring, actually.
Yeah, but with his wrist, you know, it's a very important body part in the game of
Power
baseball.
sapping injury.
So-
that, talking fantasy baseball here, I've got Josh Jung right now. He hurt his wrist in spring training, I think. Hasn't played since. He actually got all the way up to about his 3rd or 4th rehab game. Soreness on my wrist. Sit me out until after the break. Like
That's what I'm saying, you know. And then I think he was originally supposed to be back in May. Tommy was,
Yes.
and here we are in the middle of July, and we're still talking about him. But the wrist is a scary body part to injure in baseball, and you know what's he even going to be like when he comes back, if he comes back.
Well, what
He's
kind
gonna
of
have to
value
be-
do you think we can get out of him? Because I've softened
At this
on
very
the
moment,
No, yeah.
like A-Rod said, nothing. But
yes, but assuming he comes back healthy, hopefully before the trade deadline.
I mean, that's
And
next
that's-
week.
That's true.
And that's something that Mosaic would say is when Edmund comes back, boom, that's our
That's our-
deadline deal
yeah.
right there.
I think
something he
the
would
rise
say.
of Brendan Donovan has kind of cheapened what Tommy Edman is to the Cardinals.
Right,
Because
right.
he can almost do the same thing.
Yep,
basically.
absolutely.
Before that, Edman to me was almost
Well,
untouchable because of what he could do.
Yep,
Edmund was
he was Donovan with a better glove.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Had just as much hustle, was in there every day,
Yeah.
no matter what position, just
But
had
now,
a better glove.
A lot of people have forgotten how good Edmund was because
He
been
was
so
very
long
good.
since he's played.
Yep.
And like Brendan Donovan is good, and he was probably our best player last year, which didn't take a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's been our best player for a year and a half. We haven't seen Edmund, and a lot of people are kind of thinking like, well, this Donovan guy's basically doing all the same stuff. But they've got to remember that he's not doing it as good as Edmund was.
Yes.
However, with that wrist injury, we don't know if he's going to come back to that level again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't know if he's going to be at that level, if and when he will be back, and like you said, what capacity. Is his bat just going to go straight to trash, and he's going to be still an above average fielder, or none of the above?
I don't think the fielding would necessarily go away with the wrist injury. Hopefully not. I'm more concerned if he's going to be able to follow through on a pitch when he's swinging.
Right.
It's just like you see a lot of people after they get those wrist injuries, they stop at contact and they don't have the power because it hurts to swing, and they just don't ever get the batting back.
Right.
Remind me which arm it was on for him.
Right.
Right.
Question mark.
So that's not
That's-
your power hand.
well,
That's
he's-
bottom.
He's switch hitter,
That's
so that's
true.
why I'm asking because
Right. And then do you?
if it do you
He's
look?
gonna have to hit from the right side if he's gonna.
And he isn't his numbers from the right side like
I
kind
think
of
his numbers are better
ridiculous.
from the right side. Yes.
Right
Is-
wrist.
okay.
Right
Yeah.
wrist.
So you wonder about that is, okay, if that's the case, try just going right-handed. Don't seem like I see any switch hitters ever do that.
Right.
Even though I think that there's one on the Cardinals who probably ought to try it
Yep. Carlson needs to be just a righty.
Yeah.
pretty dang badly.
Yeah.
Um,
And he's got awful on the right side too.
yeah,
Conveniently enough.
Not great.
yeah.
It's not great.
But if that is the case, I wonder if the right side
Right.
might be a lot easier for him to do.
Yep. And sorry for going back to the outfield thing, but then Brendan Donovan, you've got to can't forget that guy too.
Yeah.
You got to throw him
He's
in the
got
mix.
spot, like-
Where's he playing?
Wherever we find him.
Got to play somewhere
Yeah.
every single day, just like we were talking about Tommy 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's like
you got to
the-
find a
the
spot
bat
for him every
plays,
single
so
day.
You got to
Yeah.
get it in the lineup.
Yep, exactly.
One of those guys can be our DH. So
Hey,
there's that.
shout out Robert there in the chat for, I didn't see that you said second. You probably said it before I could look it
Oh,
up.
he did say that.
He did say second for the Gold Glove, so
Robert
shout
Hale,
out.
You know who that is?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I-
shout out
I
to our
don't.
listeners, but he probably had that before I looked it up on my phone. So, but anyways, back to what we was talking about. I just wanted to give him a shout out.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I honestly didn't know. I knew that he splits positions that year.
Yeah.
All right, so I think I'm ready for a quick about 5-10 minute break, and then we'll come back and try to grab a couple more things. But I have to use the bathroom, so I got to tinkle, guys. But we'll be back. Give us about a 10-minute break, and we'll check back in.
Break time.
He said something about Walker earlier too. Oh, his arm was rising right. Hi, Mom.
All right, Stat Guy has to walk back and forth from his computer because we don't have the iPad. We don't have the passcode for the iPad.
Yeah.
But welcome back. We just wanted to say we forgot on our first intro. We kind of just started talking. But thank you to Wabash for this studio. Again, it's been a ridiculous upgrade from what it was.
Hey, my basement's super nice, guys.
Yeah,
It's only a little bit of mold on the
It's great. So, if you got Wabash, we've had 2 episodes now put
Yes.
on Wabash TV, their Catch TV channel. Correct.
Channel 99 or Channel 100. We play every Friday at 2 o'clock, and I think that they do a rerun of our show on Wednesdays at 2 o'clock.
Okay, so cool. I didn't know about the rerun. I don't know what our plan is for next week. Of course, this is just a YouTube exclusive video, but next week we'll probably go back to doing a Wabash episode at first, and then maybe do another YouTube
Yes,
exclusive.
and actually our next one on Wabash is going to be, I think our football is going to be on TV this coming Friday.
Yes,
the
so
AFC.
we've made it to the football videos on Wabash. So thank you, Wabash. Thank you to all you guys, subscribers. We're still trying to get to 500 subscribers.
We're at 466.
We're at 466.
We're kind of hit a lull. We've been hanging around that area for a while, but
So,
we're getting close to that 500 area.
Keep sharing it. Keep liking, subscribe, comment on everything. All 3 of us, well, mainly 2 of us, see that kind of stuff and are doing that.
What he does in technology.
No, he doesn't. He just does the outline. Thank you for the outline, and his wife is awesome.
Yes.
But, that's everybody. Their wives are better.
Absolutely.
But if we get up to 500 subscribers, we're going to have a giveaway. This shirt
we're
right
gonna
here,
give
we'll
away
have one of these to a lucky subscriber.
Sorry,
so,
no bobblehead.
no.
Why can't we give away a bobblehead?
Well,
Because
I think
that
it was-
took forever to make and came from Asia.
Oh, I know exactly where it came from. I mean, that was a given.
Yeah,
So
I think that it was very difficult to get that thing made. So,
we also have a Facebook group. It's on the YouTube channel as well. So if you want to join into that, you can. And we're always down to have good conversation on any kind of sports. We got lots of plans, lots of crazy ideas for what we might do. So just
why do you
keep.
have this idiot back with us?
We're definitely gonna have him.
Gonna have to pay me more than this week.
Well, we're gonna have to negotiate that. So yeah, you're getting paid.
That was
So-
like a 3.5 hour drive one way.
We
You already
appreciate
made
it.
2.5 without us.
You got to get me to phone in. Got to get me to phone in.
Well, we'll have to figure out that
don't have that
technology.
technology
I'm sure
down
we
there, okay?
do have it, but nobody knows how to do it yet.
Nobody knows how to do it.
But
We don't have that knowledge.
Yep.
but yeah, just keep letting us like and subscribe and doing all the stuff all the YouTubers say. Keep growing the channel. We got great ideas, hopefully, that you guys are like. So let's get back to our Cardinals talk, and we're gonna kind of let Mr. Brandon run a little wild on what he's seen and some prospects.
I don't like this wild thing.
Keep your pants
Well,
on.
Yeah,
you don't have. You can just run, whatever.
I got to keep the pants on. Like we were talking during the break, Graceffo is obviously a name that everybody has mentioned. He's got a lot of potential. He's seen a cup of coffee, in the season thus far as, a doubleheader starter and whatnot. But he's probably going to be a September call-up, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So you need, pay attention to him. He's got a lot
You
of.
mean McGreevy? I think Graceffo's already here. Graceffo.
No, he got called.
No.
He got sent back
Okay.
down.
No,
I
he
guess
was.
it might count.
He was just
He-
here
he-
last week for a doubleheader.
Doubleheader, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I got you.
Surprised it didn't happen
Well, I thought he
again.
came out of the pen a couple times before that.
He
too.
did. He did.
Yep.
He's been up and down a couple times already.
Gotcha.
McGreevy has not been up to the majors yet.
Yep, exactly. And, McGreevy's not having a solid season in Memphis. He had a pretty good year in Springfield last year, but Memphis struggling a little bit first year in AAA. But I really like McGreevy as a person, as a player, and, I hope that we see him. It's probably not this year, but I hope to see him in the near future.
He'll have to make pretty big strides in AAA for us to see him this year.
yeah, definitely.
What do you think his ceiling is
Oof.
in the majors?
I think he is a 3, possibly a 2.
That's kind
That's
of
what I think.
that's
Okay.
kind of what I thought. Kind of had the same thought of
Yeah.
Graceffo. He might be a little bit more in the 2 range.
Yep,
I
yep.
figured.
Right.
Kind of looking what Hintz 1,
Yep.
Graceffo
that's
2,
what I
McGreevy
really
3,
think. Yep.
probably around there. hopefully in a future rotation along
Two
with.
of them are going to be for a different team because we're not going to keep all three of them.
We're not. we I don't know if he's going to talk about the Double-A rotation, but I know here in the recently that Double-A rotation has been dang near unhittable.
Yep,
For the
yeah,
three main guys I'm thinking about anyways.
Yeah. With Tink Hence, there was probably a 6-8 week period where he put up Paul Skeen's numbers that Paul put up with Indianapolis in AAA. For the Pirates earlier this season. He was pitching. Tink was pitching nothing but 5 innings, so he wasn't going deep, but he had double-digit strikeouts every single time.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, okay, he's doing something. And like what we talked, he's had a few injuries, that maybe you need to think about. And Tink's not a huge dude, so if that's your thing, talking about the size of a guy, he's maybe an inch or two taller than me.
That's been Woody's thing on
I
Hence
think
is that he thinks he's
Woody's
small.
compared him a lot to Alex Reyes.
They're
So,
completely different.
as far as all the talent in the world and just we don't know if he's going to be able to stay healthy because Alex Reyes was the best pitcher going through our prospect system for 5 years, and then he'd get hurt, and then we wouldn't see him for a year, and then he'd come back, and he'd get hurt. And we wouldn't see him for a year.
So what's completely different than that is Tink has had, a hammy here or a tweak here, and he's out just a week or so.
And Reyes
A week
blew
or
his
so.
arm.
Reyes is having Tommy John punching a telephone in the dugout and breaking your hand. Tommy John again, elbow, everything. So that's completely different.
You hold your breath every time Tink goes out, but it's not been anything completely major.
No,
it's been that kind
absolutely
of
not.
stuff.
And Cooper Jerpy, he's and a lefty. He's a good sized kid, and having a lefty in the rotation would be awesome. But
has he given up a hit in Double-A now? I assume he probably has now.
I'm sure he
hadn't.
has now. But yeah, he's been doing pretty solid since he got called up from Peoria to Springfield, and that's a guy you need to pay attention to. Also, with the H is silent, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I said Jerpe earlier.
Yeah, it's chirpy. but
Jerpy.
whatever.
Jerpe.
Hey, I'm
Jerpe.
glad somebody
Jerpe.
can tell me because I've been
Yeah.
completely
Yeah,
wrong every
it's
time.
Jerpy, and the H is silent.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
We also got
I didn't say it with an H earlier. Don't look at me like that.
just making sure you know the H is silent.
we got to get stuff right. We're on
Yeah.
TV now.
Yeah.
We got to make sure we hone in on these names.
Yep.
He's like, I know what it looks like.
And Quinn Matthews.
Quinn
that
Matthews
you
is the next
mentioned,
one I was going to bring up.
He's jumped up to the number 2 prospect, and then now that we got JJ, he's probably going to shoot down or whatever. But that's another guy to pay attention to. And I honestly don't know a whole lot about him. He just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Honestly,
he was a college pitcher. I forget what team he pitched for. I know he pitched a ton of innings for his team in the World Series,
Okay.
College World Series, of course, and looked great in that College World Series. We drafted him, and he's kind of just hit the ground running, I believe, since we drafted him.
Yeah. I mean, if he's already third, which we don't have a ton to pick from, but if he's already
Stanford.
Stanford, yes.
okay.
So he's smart. That's what they always say about the Stanford football players. They're smart.
great on the Wonderlic.
That's right.
Yeah, he's got a 2.6 ERA this season total
Okay.
with Palm Beach, Peoria, and Springfield.
Okay. That plays.
And he's
Yeah.
a starter as well, and
Yes.
he's a lefty as well.
Yes. Yep.
Those are all things that we do.
So he's moved up from rookie ball to Double-A in
Quickly.
2.5 months.
Yes, quickly. So that
So
Double-A,
that's somebody you need to pay attention
Yeah,
to,
that-
apparently.
that
Well,
Double-A pitching
probably
rotation
not a guy
is
that
very
you're gonna see
interesting.
come up in September with us, but
No.
it's a guy you might see in AAA this year.
Yeah, at some point in time,
Possibly.
they probably will tone him down because of his pitching, his innings that he threw in the World Series.
Yeah.
I could see them shutting him down a little bit
Right.
early
Well,
this
you got to
year.
figure he's going to have a cap like 140, 160 innings, even if it's even that much.
Right.
I would say they'll probably try to shut him more in like 120 to 140 area because, I mean, you don't pitch that much in college. You just don't pitch that many innings. And it seems like you don't see guys ramping up over 150 innings until you see them in AAA. And
Right.
even then, 150 is about the most that they get.
Right.
What about Roby? I don't know how you say his first
Tekoa
name.
Roby.
Tekoa. There we go,
Tekoa Roby's another one you need to pay attention to, and he's in Springfield as well. He's another guy in
Yeah.
the rotation, And we got him and the Chris
Texas.
Stratton. Yeah, Texas.
Trade.
Chris Stratton and who else? Montgomery.
Yep.
Oh God. But yeah, in that trade. So, Roby's another young kid that the young prospect that, we got in that trade.
What did we get Montgomery in? What trade is that?
Jordan
The
Montgomery
Jordan
trade.
Montgomery,
Oh, gotcha.
Chris Stratton to Texas for
Yes.
Tekoa Roby and Thomas Sagasi.
Fugazi, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We might turn out all right on that.
rewinding. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we really did get a hell of a lot of good prospects in both of those trades with Baltimore and Texas.
Yeah, I remember seeing they thought they did about as, the analysts, MLB analysts thought the Cardinals did about as well as they could have in those trades.
I think with the Baltimore trade, we kept talking about Drew Rom because he was up so quick, but nobody knew who Cesar Prieto was,
Yeah.
that I mentioned earlier in the show, and that's the dude that
Yeah.
I got excited about immediately
I think
once
I
I looked at his numbers.
I think I remember seeing him and thinking that might be the guy in that trade
Right.
instead.
Right.
So what have you seen? And I don't know, have you seen Chase Davis?
I haven't seen Chase actually.
I know in the last month he's really become, I guess, hot would be the thing to say. He's been
Right.
killing it.
Yeah, he has moved up in the last 2-4 weeks in Palm Beach. Overall in his season, I think he's batting like 240, 250.
Yeah.
But again, he's still young.
I think like a month ago it was like 200.
Yeah,
is how
yeah,
hot he's been.
Yeah, and he's still young. He was just drafted a year ago.
Yeah.
It's his
Okay.
first full season as a pro. So definitely don't quit on him. It's Palm Beach, but
Yeah, Woody likes him a lot.
Yeah.
Woody's a big fan of Chase
He,
Davis.
he's
Yep.
got a lot of power.
He
Yep.
intentionally left him out of every mock trade that we made
Yeah.
because
Yes. I said he,
protect that man.
which
at all
I
costs.
brought up that he, eventually him and Baez is not as hype of a prospect, but he's got the
Baez
same.
hits the dingers,
He's got the
though.
same kind of profile as what Davis does.
Juan Ben Cho is another outfielder.
Yes, Juan Ben Cho is
Juan Ben
someone
Cho.
that we do have not talked about, and I do like him too.
Yep, yeah, I really like Juan Ben Cho, and he's made his way up to Peoria. He was in Palm Beach for like 3 years.
He
in
was
a
in
row.
Okay.
Palm
And-
Beach in forever.
Yeah, he was like Palm Beach for 3 years in a row. He's finally made his
He's
way
still
to
very
Peoria.
young too,
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 22, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's and he's an outfielder. But that's another kid to pay attention to that hopefully coming up in the next couple of seasons.
All right.
One thing I was going to ask you about earlier, but I forgot. But
Yeah.
what do you think with Ivan Herrera? What are we going to end up doing with him?
Oof, I've had conversations about Herrera too. With we were talking like when Herrera comes off the DL, what do we do? Do we stick with
Pages is
Pages?
playing well.
Yeah, Paz is playing well. Bat sucks, but he's solid behind the plate. Herrera, vice versa. Which one do you go with? And then obviously they decided to activate Herrera and send him straight to Memphis.
Yes.
But I'm not selling, if that's the question. I'm
Okay,
not
because
selling.
that was one that we had brought up. Alan had really brought it up, and I was against it.
Well, because I think Alan said that there's also another.
Woody wanted to sell.
Yes.
Yeah, Woody
Yeah.
wanted to sell Herrera.
Not right now. Like
Yeah, that was kind of my thought.
at me
is
at this moment, I say no.
Okay. Okay.
I haven't given up, but his arm is pathetic, man. His arm is pathetic.
I know last year he made a change with his stance or something like that, and since then he's been a completely different hitter.
Yep.
And we've seen that a little bit this year.
And he also forgot how to throw to second base simultaneously.
Yes, yes, he focused on one thing and
Yeah,
forgot the other
and forgot
thing.
the other, exactly. But no, I wouldn't sell yet, but you got to figure it out, man.
Yes.
Like I would just straight up sit him down and say, hey, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can't just let people get a walk. Can't be a double every time.
Well, yeah, and then
Yes.
you saw that with teams. You saw that with teams with Herrera behind the plate too. That you had guys stealing bases that don't steal bases. They're like, oh yeah, I can steal second on this guy, and that's exactly what they did. And
Cardinals fans aren't used to that.
he never got it. Yeah, and you got to remember that too. That we've been spoiled for the last 18, 19,
Yes.
20 years, but the guy never made it to second base. Like he would one hop it, two hop it every single time, and everybody knows that besides us. And they see that, and they just a walk turns into a double every time.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't be having that.
And you
so.
can't win ball games that way either.
No.
Pajes is solid behind the plate. I don't like his bat as much as I like Herrera's, but Pajes is a good dude.
He's had good timely hitting.
He's very clutch.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is very
Yep,
clutch. I will
yep.
give him that.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
He's not Alan Craig when he was healthy. Love was a clutch, but I don't think
not that-
anybody.
not that
I don't think
clutch.
anybody will
One good
be
trade
that.
we made,
Not that
guys,
good trade.
or one good not signing.
Yeah.
We had some good trades back in the day. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
We used to really put it to people.
Yeah, Arenado trade.
Matt Holiday trade.
Yep.
It's a good one.
Yep.
There's one other person. Alan also brought up another catcher. I don't know if you know one. I think he's down a lower A. He may not even be high A.
We just drafted him last year. I forgot.
That was
Brandall, or what's his name? Brandall.
He's
If we're
the-
talking about the same guy.
I think so. He's top. I think he's top 5 in our system even. But that was another reason for Alan saying maybe trade Herrera because that kid's coming up. But I think he's only like 17 or 18.
Yeah, Bernal. Leonardo Bernal.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
he's in Peoria right now.
Okay, he is in Peoria.
And he just turned 20.
Okay, yeah, I knew he was very young.
6 foot, 245. That's a big kid.
Yes.
Yes, I know the name. I can't really speak much about him, but
He's
yes,
the guy
I do know
that
the
he
name.
said was going to be the next. Why am I drawing a blank? The guy for the Nationals that's getting ready to come up. Not Dylan Cruz. I can't.
I don't. If it's not Cardinals, I don't know. You know this.
Never mind. Never mind.
You know that. I've said that
the
many
very large
times.
Man, but I can't think of his name.
The very large
I was thinking
man.
you were
Yes.
thinking Matt Wieters.
No, it's a prospect.
Paul LaDuca.
He's the number 2 prospect in baseball right now. I can't think of his name.
And he
right
plays for the Nats.
now. I believe
They
so.
just called up the kid. That's huge, though. It's
Oh,
not.
they did. They called him up.
But that's not him. right?
Woods or whatever?
Yeah, James Woods.
Yeah,
or
James
whatever?
Woods.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I don't think he plays catcher.
No.
No.
He's
Oh, he
talking about
just-
being
he
a
just being
huge
big.
guy.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I was getting at. I thought I was trying to think of a
James
catcher.
Woods.
No.
James Woods is 6'7". This kid's 6'2". That's a big difference. James Woods compares a lot more to freaking Aaron Judge,
James Woods is the best.
and not the actor, not the one that's always on Family Guy. Alrighty, you guys have anything else?
I'm not big on. I don't know the prospects near as much. As
Yes,
what you
I
two
know
do
you.
Anyhow, so I mean, are we ever going to see Victor Scott II come back? I mean,
Yeah, we can bring up Scott and Walker on where they're kind of at. I suppose they're
he
probably
fell
the.
flat on his face when he made the opening day roster. Well, both of them did.
Yeah,
Really. They
I didn't expect much out of Scott personally
Right.
at the beginning.
He's got a rap album, though.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. But I didn't. I thought he played great in the spring. He played his way onto the team, but
He
I
did.
thought we were expecting a ton out of him for no reason. It was a little
did.
early.
And, that's another guy that we kind of rushed, honestly.
Yes.
He played in Springfield and Peoria last year. 0 Memphis time, and then
That's crazy.
He just breaks the team out of spring training, and we knew what kind of player he was. It's just he gets on base, and he's still second, he's still third. That's
Yes.
what he does, and he just couldn't get on base to do that in St. Louis. And
He's
it
starting to
seemed,
look more like Billy Hamilton there.
yeah,
Yeah,
and-
but it was. Yeah, once again, he was rushed though.
right.
Like
And-
I guess I'm trying to keep the sentiment of us Cardinals fans not losing hope on somebody like that.
No.
Whenever he wasn't, his time frame was not to be up this year.
no, right.
Maybe at the end of the year was his time
Right.
frame. He was not supposed to be up
Be a
as early as he
September
was.
call up, a pinch runner late in the game, win some games down the stretch.
And he can
you know.
still dang sure do that
Yeah,
for
yeah,
us. He can do that at
absolutely.
any time.
Absolutely.
And
He's struggling in Memphis. He's batting a little over 200 or 220, something like that.
Yeah.
And so, but it's his first taste of Memphis. He's
Yeah.
only been in Memphis for 6-8 weeks out of his entire career. So
Yeah, we just decided, welcome to the show, kid.
yeah, exactly. But he's a fast guy, and he's a heck of a rapper.
So we'll talk about the big fish, I suppose, Jordan Walker. I mean, I know what I see. I follow a lot of on Twitter, guys posting stuff. Kyle Reese on there is great on posting stuff. We see every once in a while Walker hitting bombs, hitting it, 120 mile per hour or whatever he does. What are your thoughts on where he's at right now?
Well, he didn't impress me last weekend seeing him in person, and that was kind of a shame. And I'm not trying to dog him or anything, but he didn't even impress me in the one game. Again, it's one game, but he didn't impress me last weekend, and didn't have a throwing error, but he had a throwing/fielding mishap that the sitting next to the dugout they weren't too pleased with him about. But you got to be smarter than that. You're trying to work your way up back to the big leagues. Hitting wise, they should just stop talking to him. Period. You were 19, you were drafted, you're 21 now or whatever. Already made your major league debut. You're here for a reason. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Just keep doing your thing.
Do what got you there.
And then when you start screwing up, come talk to me.
Yes.
But you just figure it, just go along with it. Like I said, he was batting 270, 275.
276 his first year.
And then you send him down. Why?
Yeah.
Why? That
Because he doesn't know how to
kills
play the outfield.
that kills a kid's confidence at that age and at that time in their career. Just kills them. And he has, and I think it's be careful with what I say. It's not like C-Mart, but what I said about C-Mart is it's in between your ears.
Yes,
and it's in between his ears right now. Like the kid's got talent. It took him I don't know how long, just 6 weeks, 8 weeks longer to get his first home run in Memphis once he was sent down.
Yeah.
Took him forever.
He was clearly very broken.
Yep.
There, and I think it's by the Cardinals doing
He still hit the ball
for
hard.
that.
He's just hitting it into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just me personally, I'm not a firm believer in the exit velocity and all this crap. Just hit the ball.
Hit the ball.
Play baseball. Do your thing.
Let's let him just do what he can do because
Yep.
we know what it can be.
Right.
Even at the 276, I think
And
he
he-
still had 20 homers.
Yeah.
He's got so much potential to grow into from that first season.
Right.
Stop messing with him.
Yep. Like I said, just stop talking to him. Stop. Putting all this analytical crap into his head and just let the kid play. I mean, he's here for a reason at this age. And he's the way he's built too. Built like a brick house.
Yeah.
Okay, so just let the kid be. He's got all the potential in the world.
And it almost feels like they took the different approach for Mason Wynn, and I don't understand it. Whereas they kind of said, "Don't hit home runs.
Yep,
Just
do your thing."
Do your thing."
Yep.
And look what it's
they
done.
didn't see him turn into Colton Wong, where he was trying to swing out of his shoes.
Right.
Yes.
And he would hurt his average. When Wong finally decided that he doesn't have to hit 20 home runs a year, he was a 300 hitter for us 2 years in a row.
So why can't we
point.
take that kind of approach for Jordan Walker?
Yeah. Yeah. Who's having these conversations?
Where's the disconnect?
Yeah.
there?
Exactly. Who's having these conversations?
That's fair. That's fair because that's the correct move for Wynn. I don't think that he should be a guy that's trying to hit home runs. He's not big enough to be doing that.
I don't care if he hits 10, 15, 20 home runs. That's
I don't
not
care
what
if
I'm
he
worried
hits
about.
five.
That's not what I'm worried about. That's not what I'm worried about.
Hit 300, play great defense, steal bags,
280,
excite the team like you can.
20 stolen bases, Gold Glove in the next 2 years. I'm happy.
Yeah,
With two home runs. Don't
give
care.
me prime Colton Wong. your whole career.
prime
Yep.
Colt Wong for your whole career. Yes, that is
they're
great.
very similar players. I mean, just one played on the other side of the bag than the other.
Yes.
As far as Walker, I think the reason that he's getting the flack over his hitting is because that's a guy that you look at him, he should hit home runs. You look at Mason Wynn, you look like that's the guy that should hit 300 and steal bags. So when Jordan Walker's hitting 285 or 275 in the majors, but he only has one home run, we think it's a problem. So, no, it's not a problem. If you hit 285, you're going to be a great player your whole career, whether you're hitting home runs or not.
Right.
Maybe because he's an outfielder and that's more of a power position, and kind of the MLB's transition to a part where if you're in the outfield, you've got to hit 20 home runs, or we're gonna find someone that does.
And I guess for me, the way they're talking about him hitting the ball into the ground, blah blah blah. Launch angles become such a big thing. I don't necessarily agree with it. You can still be a line drive hitter. I mean, Pujols was a line drive hitter and hit 703 freaking home runs.
Right.
Let's just let him hit the ball hard and see what happens.
Right.
He can still maybe find some
The launch
holes.
angle is supposed to go upward.
It's supposed to go upward. It is, but it'll come too. I think it'll come.
Yeah.
Switching to memorabilia because we're memorabilia guys. Buy or sell on Walker.
I think it's great buy time.
It's great buy time.
Great buy time. I think.
Terrible sell time.
Yes, it's the absolute worst of sell times. However, like the hobby has a tendency of when a guy doesn't kill it right out of the gate, they give up on him, and his stuff never recovers.
Yeah.
Immediately.
He could Aaron Judge, his stuff recovered. He's an outlier on that. He was terrible, and his stuff was like tanking because they thought they just went through the whole Greg Bird thing,
Right?
And it's like, well, this is just another version of that.
Yeah.
And
but then you go and break the home run record.
Yeah,
Speaking of
turns out.
Aaron Judge, I sent these guys a great article. I don't remember what it was. I don't know if you looked at the article, but it compared Walker to Judge and how Walker is doing the same thing that Judge did early in his career after he came
Judge
up.
was not good his first time he came up.
Right.
And came back down, worked on some stuff, kind of like with Walker.
And they
that.
said Vladdy, I guess, would be the best. They compared them both to that, but Judge is a very good comparison, I think, on
think
what
Judge-
could be.
hopefully Judge is
And
better
all
player.
Cardinals
Vladdy's really
fans
like-
can really maybe look at that and still have some hope because, God, it seems like everybody doesn't have hope anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't give up on Walker whatsoever. The kid's 22 or whatever. He just turned 22. And yeah, he didn't impress me in the one game I saw him last weekend. That doesn't mean anything realistically.
Yeah.
But, and the manager was hacked off at him half the game. Yeah, whatever. Stuff happens. But no, I wouldn't give up on the kid. I just hope we as an organization don't give up on him.
Yeah.
I think there's still something there.
I think a lot of fans have tried to give up on him so far, but I don't think that
Yeah.
the organization is ready to.
Yeah, and
I hope they're not. If they are, you better get a heck of a haul for him.
Yeah.
Because, and even if you do get a heck of a haul for him, I think that that's going to be the thing he would need to make you regret it.
Yes.
Right.
Because we talk about Arizona Randy and trading him away and what he did, and he was great. Walker, if we trade him away and reaches his potential,
We'd be looking
you
at a
don't
Hall of Famer.
you don't recover from that very well.
We're looking at
As
a
an
Hall of Fame
organization.
team.
Yeah.
At that point,
Yes.
we still got Randy, we still got Adolis, we still got Jaywalk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
going into this season, I don't have it in front of me anymore, but going into this season, when we first started to do this, it was like a couple weeks before me and Woody started doing this show. I made a MLB team of our current roster
Okay.
and an MLB team of current players that we traded away. And we said,
I know where this is
if these
going.
two were to play each other right now, which team do you think wins? And we unanimously said that the other team would beat us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was when we had Jordan Walker in the lineup. Actually, I think I did this during spring training or first week of the season because it was when Tyler O'Neill was super hot this year.
Yeah.
So like the first couple weeks of the season. So I think I had him hitting 3 or 4 in that lineup.
Yeah.
Which he's slowed down. I think
Before he
actually.
conveniently got hurt and
Does
he always
does the Tyler
Yeah.
O'Neill thing.
does his May O'Neill thing.
But I mean, that was.
But not even
also-
seeing your list, I just cut you off and said former.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. You got Palacios, which hasn't even played that well, or at all, really. And then you've got Adolis Garcia. You've got Randy Arozarena. I think that I had Luke Voigt on there, too, which I don't think Luke Voigt's even...
He's
I don't
not
think
in the
he's in
majors.
baseball
Yeah,
right now.
I don't think so either.
I don't
I
think
think
he's
he
in
just kind of
baseball.
got never picked up after the end of the season last year. I forget who all was on the list, but it was a pretty good list. Like, you looked at it, it's like, that's not a bad lineup. I got Colton Long playing second base for the other team.
I know we've got a
we
heck
let
of an outfielder,
And walk.
heck of an outfield, heck of a rotation. But I'm just trying to think.
I say I don't know of anybody
past
else
that.
other than that.
That's all we talk about,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think of somebody past that. Wong, he just got DFA'd for
Yeah.
5 million.
And we
time in the
let
last
him
year.
walk, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter on
Yeah,
that.
that wasn't a trade.
Yeah.
Trying
But
to
it is disheartening to see how it's been because back, and I want to point
Carson
it out
Kelly.
to, yeah, but he got traded for Goldsmith. Who cares?
Still yet. Carson Kelly's very good.
Yeah, but we
He
got
could
Goldie
still,
there.
if you can't think of another catcher, he could
Yeah,
be
he
your
could be the catcher.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, it feels like to me there's an organizational shift, and it's not one that was forced. That whenever Oscar Tavares passed away, we were really catching up, trying to fix a hole in him, and that got us reckless on some of these trades.
Yeah, Jason
Because
Hayward.
before that, I think I mentioned it before. The Cardinals,
PTSD.
the Cardinals were a team that you didn't want to trade for. They were the Rays back then.
Right.
Like if you got traded for their prospects, they weren't going to turn out, and they were going to kill you with the guy they traded
I saw a
for.
graphic a couple days ago actually where the Rays with trades they've made in the last 3 years, and they showed the WAR of each sides. Like the people that they traded have negative WAR, and like their guys were like 25 WAR.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
Yeah.
Just
But that-
win every trade.
That used to be the Cardinals at one point in time
yeah.
back in the day,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
something happened, and I don't know
We
what
already
it
jockeyed.
is. Yeah,
Bingo.
but
Bingo.
but
John
Mozeliak,
Mozeliak was born.
yeah, but Mozeliak made some of those trades,
He did. He
and then it lost because like he made the trades in 13 for
He made a
with the
couple
Red
of those
Sox.
trades that, like, when you saw him the first time, it was like, oh, yeah. It's like, come on. The trades that is like, when it's evaluating prospects, I don't think he's won a single one of those.
I'm looking up when he started.
He won a couple trades.
Oh, he
that
did.
is-
He definitely did because he was traded in the he was the GM in the Matt Holliday trade.
Okay.
Who'd
we trade for Matt
he
Holliday?
start Brett Wallace, who did
Kiko Calero.
Brett Wallace is supposed to be the next Alex. Oh, well, he was supposed to be Alex Bregman before Alex Bregman.
yeah.
was-
Brett Wallace did absolutely nothing.
He was the left-handed Pujols.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, there was another guy
There was
that
a-
played. There was a first baseman that played for the A's that they traded, and I don't remember his name, but started with a D, I think.
Derek, Daric.
Yeah, Derek something.
B. started
That was
with
the only.
Martin.
Yeah,
Martin.
yeah. That was the. I think he was the only one who made it to the majors out of that trade.
Right.
So
And
from
he did absolutely nothing.
yeah, so it was really like before that Mozeliak was making good trades. Before like 13,
Right.
and I don't know what happened after that.
You named one. You made one good trade.
He made the trades in 2011 that won us the World Series.
What trades did he make, or did he just pick people up at the deadline?
He traded Kobe Rasmus away.
It's fair. Who'd be good for Colby Rasmus?
Edwin Jackson, Mark Zachinsky, Octavio Detel.
Trevor Miller? Was it? No, it was.
There was
after
another.
him.
There was another. Corey Patterson.
Cool. Hey, that was actually good.
That trade.
Patterson was pretty good for
That
us in
trade
playoffs,
won
too.
us the World Series,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, because Patterson was just as good as Rasmus by himself, and then we got all those people.
Yeah.
all those pitchers,
Edwin
too.
Jackson was good. Just
He was an innings
Scrabble was very good then.
guy. Yeah,
Fell off at one point in time, but
Right.
something
they
happened.
served their purpose that year.
Yes, something happened, and I don't know what it is, and I only point it to Oscar Taveras passing away.
Scrabble. I mean, just
No,
relievers.
well, I'm just thinking as
Just
the
relievers, man.
no, I didn't mean that. I meant first the trades that Mozeliak was making, and how we view them. You may not agree, but
No.
from 2007 until 13, 14, we were making some pretty good trades that were not backfiring the way they used to or they do now.
Right.
I think that
They
maybe,
never did.
Maybe he had his first one just backfire on him, and then he's just like domino effect. I don't know.
You know, and you got to realize that we made the Arizona trade.
Yeah.
And, Luke Weaver and Carson Kelly, who?
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, I kind of blame our bad trades and player evaluation on our little head honcho, Michael Gersh.
Yeah.
I don't see. I don't
have
even
we made
know.
a good trade since Gersh has been around?
No, I don't know what he actually does though.
And
He's
nobody
our
does.
baseball talent evaluator.
No, he's the general
He is
manager.
the general manager.
He is
and
the GM, and I don't know what he
doesn't
does.
generally manage anything.
He's just there,
Mo
man.
is still
He's just
doing
there.
everything.
Mo does everything.
Yeah.
And Randy Flores was, I guess, on
Let's
the hot
let's
seat.
give him our GM job. I would much rather him be the GM.
But I guess Randy Flores was on the hot seat depending on how the draft was going to go this year, on how the draft has been in the last 2, 3, 4 years. I guess I heard
That-
he was on the hot seat, and it's like,
That is a wild thing.
Yeah.
I never heard
Yeah.
that, but there is no reason for Randy Flores to be on the hot seat. I feel like since he took over
we
that,
haven't even had this high of a pick in God knows how long. So I
he's
mean,
killed the. Look at the pit. I mean,
it's a total
right?
crapshoot when you're picking 30th every year.
What-
You know,
Well, I
The-
mean, it turns
look
out
at
your
the-
team's good. You don't get good picks.
yeah,
20
right.
What the 2021 draft or 2020 draft with Walker, Hentz, Burleson,
Mm-hmm.
Wynn,
Yep.
all those guys. I
Right.
don't care what he does. That's
Right.
going to make our major league roster, hopefully, eventually, in a few years.
That's half your starting lineup
yes,
right there.
And look at what two of them have done so far.
Right. But
Why would he be on the
people
hot
But
sheet?
people still want to just talk about the negative. You know, you're
He-
so negative, and you know,
He's doing a good job getting into prospects, and we are doing a good job getting him to AAA. We can't make it past AAA, and I don't know why. There is
That's fair.
whoever it is right there needs to go.
Yep. And
It's
I
definitely not
totally
Randy
agree.
Flores.
Just devil's advocate, because everybody is so negative all the time. We picked Walker before Trout, so you know, what moron thought that was a good
Yeah.
idea? But we always said that he was going to be the next Adam Wainwright, which Adam Wainwright
the
still
shoulder
isn't Mike Trout.
Yeah.
However, he had all the potential in the world
Yes.
too.
But if you we picked Wainwright before Mike Trout, you've been like, okay. It's like
right.
it's like that sucks, but okay.
Right.
Right. When it's Waka, it's like it's kind of a what could have been with Waka, because if he didn't have all the shoulder injuries,
So Scrabble.
he
He's
was a
solid
great
this
pitcher.
year.
Yeah,
He's solid this year.
Yeah.
I still love Waka. I do.
and he kills the Dodgers in the playoffs, and I love that.
Yeah. I'm still a Waka lover. I still follow that guy.
He's just got shoulder problems,
Yep.
and without the shoulder problems, I mean, he's a great pitcher.
Yep.
When he is healthy and when he is right, he's an above average pitcher. I think he's been in 2 or 3 All-Star games. One with us, and then I think another one with the Royals.
No,
not
he's
Royals.
with the Royals now.
Mets.
He's played for the Mets, Padres.
I don't know. He's kind of bounced around since he left us, but I think he did get to. It was Padres. I'm pretty sure. I think he was an All-Star for the Padres.
I
but-
do not to say Brandon. That was Walker was drafted in 2012. Trout was drafted in 2009. You're thinking Randall Grichuk.
Yes,
That's who you're
yes.
thinking of.
Well,
Yep,
the
yep,
Angels
that's
picked
who I'm
both of
thinking.
them,
Yes.
and they did that
Yes.
because they had back-to-back
Yes.
picks.
Right.
But Walker was the 22nd pick, I believe, in 2012. It
He's a
says
compensatory. pick.
Walker was the whatever pick for
Yeah.
Albert Pujols.
Yes, I
that
did
was
know
what he was. Yes.
Yes. I knew that Walker was the comp pick for Pujols.
Waka, one-time All-Star.
Yes.
One time, so he just with us.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought, for some
15.
reason I thought he got one with the Padres or Mets, but he probably just got snuffed, whatever. Because
Yeah.
he's had a couple good seasons since he's left us. For
Right.
sure.
Yes. Yeah. Alrighty, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of Benchwarmers Basement Banter.
I think so too. I mean, it's
Thanks
been an
to
hour
Brandon for coming on. It's been
Yeah.
absolutely amazing having you on, talking
Yep.
Cardinals prospects and baseball in general.
Next time
So
you're out this way, you need to come down here and
Def-
see it again. Maybe
definitely-
you'll actually get to see Woody.
Yeah, maybe it's
Yes.
only been
Watching you, Woody.
we
Yep.
might have a 4-man booth on that time if we can get the iPad going. But
Yeah,
we'll have to
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out how to move the camera to get all of us in frame. But
Right, to get 4 of us in here, we'd have to.
but
Yes.
yeah, just if you got any parting words for us, Brandon?
No, just thanks for having me. I know we've been talking for several months, and I've
yeah.
been watching you guys back home.
Yeah, he
you
watches
know.
a lot of our shows.
Yep. I live on the other side of St. Louis, so I was glad to come down here and visit you guys and be a part of the show finally. And I hope to be back soon.
Oh yeah, come back for some football too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, we're gonna have
Absolutely.
some football. We got some ideas for football stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
lots of ideas for football stuff. We're ready for football season for sure. So so like I said before, like and subscribe, comment, do all that stuff on the YouTube channel. If you got Wabash TV, watch us on there. I don't know how that works and the ratings and stuff like that, but
No idea.
we'll be glad to have you if you want to watch us there. If you want to join the Facebook group, it's also in the YouTube channel.
I'll
And,
give you some updates and tell you what we're coming up next. We try to post in the Facebook group early in the day when we're doing
Yeah.
something that night because we film almost all of our stuff in the evenings. All of us work full-time jobs, unfortunately, so we usually only film in the evenings, and we'll tell you in the morning what's going on, what's the plan for next week, stuff like that. Pretty soon we're going to be doing one, I think, with Austin Gibbs doing fantasy football. So
Awesome.
I think that's going to be either next week or the week after. I don't know for sure. So
let me know what you guys think about having a Benchwarmers Basement Banner fantasy football league too.
There we go.
We've had some talks about that, having like a 10-team league. I don't know how we pick from the subscribers, but maybe just if you want to comment on that, make some comments. Maybe we pick from the comments. So Just
Yeah.
another
We
thing
got a
we
lot of
thought
ideas.
about.
Just say something in there.
Also, shout out Caleb.
Caleb, good old
Go to
Scrabble.
Scrabble. I seen that earlier when we was talking, but shout out Caleb. So
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you again next week. Probably actually on Monday to do our normal episode. Oh, and now I'm gonna go take a nap.